Call the meeting to order. You can take roll. Got a subpart on 1A, recognition of the Cherokee Board of Education for School Board Appreciation Month.
January is School Board Appreciation Month, so don't really have anything fancy planned or anything like that for you, but just want to take a few minutes. Thank each of you for your commitment, your dedication to our school. I know it can be a thankless position oftentimes, but I do hope you all take a lot of pride in what we have. I think we've got a great school, wonderful facilities. Our staff is amazing, and I think our kids are just all top notch, and so you guys have a big part in that. We appreciate your support and everything that you do for us. And so we just, on behalf of myself and the rest of the administration, all of our staff and students, we want to say thank you. And next thing, we're going to make you take a picture.
That's nice. Are you serious?
Yes, I'm serious.
No, tonight you gotta give us warning.
Yeah. Just a quick informal
not
picture.
Very nice.
We'll put a little thank you.
Wow.
Post
Some of us
later.
didn't even sign our checks for a while.
I thought it was gonna rain.
All right, that takes us to number 2, approval of consent agenda, A through F. Go ahead, Grace.
All right. Back to my agenda here. We can start with general fund encumbrances. A couple larger expenditures on this one. Our crisis communication system, upgrading all the intercoms. That is on there this month, and that's for $90,100 that we approved earlier, the contract with that company. So that will probably get started just as soon as school's out, and getting all of those intercom systems updated and fixed. We also kind of finally got our flood cleanup insurance claim and all of that settled and taken care of. That ended up, the total cost of that was $34,600. And so, of course, our deductible, our part of that was $5,000.
And we did get paid for that?
Insurance picked up the rest of it. So we were out $5,000, but that was the total bill for the cleanup, for that company to come in and get everything dried out and fixed, which there really wasn't a lot of major damage. It was just getting everything dry to make sure that we didn't have anything that was going to linger and cause any mold problems down the road. So it's just taken a while, but that's finally been taken care of. There's no other really big ticket items on there for this month that were out of the ordinary, but those two were the big ones on there. And of course, the $90,000, we do get security grant funding from the state this year, and then the following next 2 years, we'll get that about $92,000 each year. And so this year, that's what we've done with that. Building fund, we did do the gym floor over Christmas break again, and that's $2,625 for them to come in and clean and then revarnish the floor. Unless there's any other questions on those, I would skip down to E. We had several SCCLA put in for several fundraisers. Chuck a Duck, which is where they put the bucket out in the middle of the gym floor and they sell the little rubber duckies and get an opportunity to throw it out there if you make it in the bucket. And I don't know if it's a 50-50 split or exactly what they have planned there, but we've seen that done at some other schools and ball games. Egg My Yard, which is one SCCLA does just about every year. pay to have plastic Easter eggs put in their yards, and then sell Elaine's cookies and crush bags at Valentine's. So those are the fundraisers that we had submitted for them. We did have one resignation, Megan Roberts. She was a paraprofessional, and she's turned in a resignation letter, and I'd like to thank everybody for the opportunity to work here. She's taken a job elsewhere here in town, so we wish her the best of luck and thank her for the time that she did put in here for us. Treasurer's report. Looking to see what page that is. Starts on page 17. You can see our fund balances there. Again, just kind of like last month, everything's in pretty good shape. We will get our tax check this month, and then so I'll be able to update you a little bit more on kind of where we are with those things. And then I'm going to talk a little bit later in my superintendent's report about the state and our mid-year adjustment and some things there. But as of right now, looking at kind of across the board there, everything's in pretty good shape. I don't have any real major concerns there, thankfully.
Any other questions or concerns, A through F? Motion.
Motion to approve, A through F.
Desiree made a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Heather, second. Judy?
Littlefield,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Gibson,
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
Number 3, principals reports.
On the 14th before break, we had our AR party. We've started something new this year where however many points students have, that's turned into Chief Bucks, and so they get to shop at the school store, and I think it's motivating, even if they don't make their goal, it's still motivating them to get more Chief Bucks, get to go shopping, so they had fun with that on the 14th. On the 14th, we also had our Christmas program. I just want to thank Ms. Ware again for volunteering her time and putting on a great program. It really was a nice program. On the 2nd, we came back to school. We had a really great first day. We have 3 new students since the school year has started. On the 3rd, we had a spelling bee, classroom spelling bees. That's something new. I think they used to do it a long time ago, but they brought it back. So the elementary had 2 students from each classroom make it to finals, and so tomorrow at 9 o'clock will be our big spelling bee in the auditorium. We are working hard to improve attendance. We always say if you miss school, you miss out, and starting this semester, we're going to do a little raffle on Fridays, and if they have perfect attendance, they get their name put in a hat to do a drawing, so we're hoping that that'll kind of help improve attendance for the spring semester. So I think that's about all that's going on.
And the spelling bee, elementary's at 9, the junior high students are going to participate in that too. They're going to do it at 9:30, so we'll have an elementary overall winner, junior high overall winner, and they can go on to a bigger competition. I'm not sure exactly when or what that is, but I know that's the possibility. So at our last board meeting, I hadn't told our November students of the month yet, so our November students of the month for the high school were Gavin Guffey and Taylor Allison. Our junior high students were Wyatt Calwanson and Harper Larimore. Just this weekend, we hosted the 31st annual Cherokee Invitational Basketball Tournament. The Lady Chiefs won 3rd in the tournament. Carson Schombacher and Naomi Hine were selected to the all-tournament team. Right before Christmas, we were in the Canton tournament, and Carson Schombacher was selected on the Canton all-tournament team there. I want to thank AEC for sponsoring our tournament and everyone else that helped put it on. It takes a lot of people, it takes a lot of time. Concession, gate, time, clock keepers, scorekeepers, bookkeepers, everything. It's a lot of people and a lot of work that goes into it, so thanks everybody that helped. Cherokee FFA was selected to be part of the State Officer Goodwill Tour on January 23rd. 4 state FFA officers will be in Cherokee for lunch, as well as a short program with the local FFA members. On Sunday, 13 FFA and 4-H members completed their Youth of the Quality Care of Animals training and certification this past weekend. Homecoming is this week, so we have ball games every day this week. Yeah. Every day this week. Homecoming is Friday, so it will be junior high school, and I believe we're going to do coordination about 6. Put it at 6, and if we're really late, then everybody will be there. If we put it late and have it early, everybody gets mad. So we're going to say 6, and if it happens a little after that, everybody will be here. Cherokee Strip Basketball Tournament's coming up next week. And it will be in Pioneer High School again this year, January 18th and 19th and 20th. And there's no school on that Friday for teacher in services. And I could list everything that's going on the next month before the next board meeting, but I would talk for another hour. So lots of things. So stay tuned to our app. Yeah, next Wednesday.
Yeah. All right, number 4, we have a proposed executive session to discuss the employment of a non-certified personnel so that the board may return to open session and vote to employ or find reason not to employ non-certified personnel pending background check pursuant to 25 OS 307B1. And I'll make a motion to convene into executive session. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Desiree, second. Judy?
Littlefield,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Gibson,
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
6:13. 6:28. Go ahead with the minutes.
During the executive session, we discussed the employment of non-certified personnel, so the board may return to open session and vote to employ or find reason to not employ non-certified personnel pending background check pursuant to 25 OS 307B1.
Thank you. Takes us to number 5, vote to approve or not to approve the employment of Heather Cumby as a middle school paraprofessional.
I would make a recommendation that we hire Heather as our middle school paraprofessional.
I make a motion that we hire Heather. Do I have a second?
Second.
Heather, second. Judy?
Littlefield,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Gibson,
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
Number 6, discussion and vote to approve or not to approve the district student transfer capacity numbers.
It's that time again, we have to take a look at this. My recommendation is that we leave our capacity numbers where they are, which currently almost all grades, pre-K through 12, are at capacity. We do have one spot available in pre-K, first grade, third grade, fifth grade, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th grade. There are 2 spots available in 4th grade, and the remaining grades are at capacity and or over by 1 or 2. So my recommendation is going to be that we just leave our capacity numbers where they are and make no changes to those numbers at this time. We will review those again later this spring, and we can decide what we want to do. Of course, there are some things coming through the OSSA with transfers and rules that we'll need to take a closer look at, and then we can make the best decision for us later. But right now, I just recommend that we leave them where they are.
Any questions or concerns on the capacity numbers? If not, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the district student transfer capacity numbers.
Got a motion to approve from Desiree.
I'll second.
Curtis, second. Judy?
Littlefield,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Gibson,
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
All right, takes us to 7, discussion and vote to approve or not to approve the 24-25 school year calendar.
And you can look at that on your computer screen. That scanned copy is in color, or I gave you a black and white copy. This will be our school calendar for next year. There really are no changes. There are some adjustments in just the calendar overall. So like Christmas break, we would still be out for 2 weeks, it just looks a little bit later, and us coming back later than we did this year, just because of the way the dates fall, with the first kind of being in the middle of the week. And so then our tournament would be that next week. We did discuss making the Monday after Christmas break a professional development day for teachers. And so we would still just have a 3-day instructional week there, with that Friday being out, with us hosting the tournament. But we felt like giving teachers that Monday after break to come in and kind of get the rooms ready and those things would be a lot better than just coming back in with kids all at once after that break.
Yeah, so then it's just a 3-day week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what we did this year, and it worked out pretty good. You know, a longer break like that, especially for the younger kids, it's hard to get back in the swing of things, so. Still sticking with the Fridays off in the spring. And we would have a start date of August 8th. And that would make our last day in May 15th. Fall break, we did that this year where we took Thursday, Friday, and Monday. The Tech does that as well. Also, there's a few other schools around here that do that. It's the first time we've kind of taken that following Monday off, but everybody seemed to like that. Kind of makes that weekend a little bit longer right there at the end of that first 9 weeks.
Any other questions or concerns on the calendar?
I'll make a motion to approve the 24-25 school year calendar.
Heather made a motion to approve, I'll second. Judy?
Littlefield,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Gibson,
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
Number 8, discussion and vote to approve or not to approve the 1080 method for the 24-25 school year calendar.
So the second part of that, and we've done this for several years now, but is to use the 1,080 hours method, and that has to be approved kind of on its own line there by us in order for us to do that, make sure that we have 1,080 hours of instructional time. With this calendar and our time during the day, our hours, we have more than that, so we go over, so we built in extra days if there is bad weather and things like that. So it is built into that, but we would like to use the 1080 method again.
Questions on the 1080 method? I'll make a motion to approve the 1080 method. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Curtis, second. Judy?
Littlefield,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Gibson,
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
Superintendent's report.
One thing I want to just briefly talk about, I've been in touch with some people with Air Evac, and on the 17th, I'm going to have somebody here to talk to our staff and kind of come up with a partnership agreement through them where our staff can sign up. It would be a payroll deduct option this year, but they could sign up for Air Evac services in case that was ever needed for them and their families. Currently, because of Farm Bureau, Luke Wood there and their donation, all of our students at our activities, if anything happens at a home activity or even going to an activity, they're covered. And so through that agreement and talking with, like I said, Air Evac, I think it would be a good thing for us to offer, at least if we have any employees that want to do that. And so they will be here on the 17th to set that up. I'm hoping that maybe in the future we might be able to, come up with something similar, whether it be a local business, but maybe that could be, a benefit that we extend to our employees at no cost. But this would give them an option to do that at a discounted rate rather than just going out on their own and doing that. So we will get that going, and hopefully that will never be needed, but it'll be there if it is. Real quick, I kind of want to visit just a little bit. We did get our mid-year adjustment numbers in. Our allocation from the state is down about $46,000, and that is due to the calculations that they use when they adjust our valuations. Last year, the number that was used, and to start this year, the number that was used for our adjusted valuation was a little over 24 million. But that had a tax protest amount that had been settled. I believe it was the saltwater disposal wells, and that amount was still in the calculation. So when that rolled off, even though we still have tax protests currently going on, that money is in escrow and it hasn't been settled. So we don't have that factoring into the calculation that the state uses right now. If it gets settled, it might come back in, but what it did is, when that came out, it caused our adjusted valuation to go back up to approximately 28 million. And so when you go through and do all the calculations on the bottom half of the formula, which is all we're not on the top half because of all of our chargeables, just the way it figured out, we're getting 46,000 less by the end of the year than we had started with at the beginning.
Chris, I'm sorry, did you say, was it 46,000 or 426,000?
46.
That's what I thought you said.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll receive $46,000 less than originally allocated to us by the state, which is frustrating because the factors have gone up into the formula that are supposed to help schools. I don't know that this is really there's nothing anyone could do about it. It's just the way the math works. Had it not been for the state putting more money into the formula, it would have been worse. So there's that way to look at that as well. But I did sit down this morning and visited with Jennifer Roach about some of those things, and we talked at length about how maybe in the future we might be able to predict that a little bit better. I honestly don't know if there would have been a good way to foresee it changing that much. It usually fluctuates a little bit, but $4 million coming off all at once just really kind of changed things there. So, it will be fine. It's obviously not going to be, it's not great news, it's not going to help. But I don't think it's going to be just, the sky is falling or end of the world there. So, but it is something we'll keep an eye on and see how that's going to factor in. Our weighted ADM is at 730 on that calculation sheet currently. Our 9 weeks weighted ADM was down about 38 points. So that's because we have fewer students. We graduated a big class last year, and this year we don't have as many. But as Ms. Patterson said, I think she gained 3 at the elementary after break. Today we had 2 high school students show up in enrollment. So those things can change a little bit between now and the end of May, but our enrollment has gone down a little bit, so that combined with those valuation numbers, it'll be something we need to look at, but I would expect us to even see maybe a little bit less money coming from the state next year because of all that. So just something we'll have to plan for and prepare for, but wanted to kind of give you an update on that tonight. So, but I don't want to end on a bad note. A little bit of good news. It's not great, but at the beginning of the year we started discussing our energy efficiency and what we could do there. Asked the teachers at the beginning of the year just to start trying to think about some things. Turn the computers off completely when they leave on the weekends, keeping thermostats set at certain temperatures, making sure lights are off in rooms when they're not being used. We started replacing kind of strategically certain lights, starting with our security lights that are on all the time with LED lights that are more energy efficient. And so going back and looking at the previous year compared to this year, in that same kind of September to December timeframe, we've spent $4,400 less this year than we did the year before. So it's not a huge number, but to me, it's a win and it's a step in the right direction. So, I mean, I think the teachers and staff are really to thank for that because they took that serious. And they're trying to make those changes. I kind of challenged them, I said, let's keep doing it. Let's see if we can, save even more. As we get these Arctic blasts this winter, we'll see kind of what the gas prices and things like that do and what it can look like. But like I said, so far, I feel like we've taken a small step in the right direction there and saved a little bit of money. So appreciate them and their efforts to do that, and this is just another good reminder of myself to make sure I do those things as well. So, other than that, like both principals said, it's busy. We're supposed to get another slight chance of weather tonight. I don't think it'll have any impacts on anything that we do the rest of this week. We'll keep an eye on things as we get closer to this weekend, and then next week is when the temperatures are really supposed to drop. And so, we'll try to remind everybody, take a little, extra time if the weather is bad and get those kids bundled up on the way to school, prepare, try to make sure they have rides after school and do all those kind of things. Just keep them safe because it's supposed to get really cold. Other than that, I think that's it. I think that's all I have.
Thanks, Bryce. Any new business on 10?
No new business.
No new business. Takes us to, I make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Desiree, second. Judy?
Littlefield,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Gibson,
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
6:44.